1 minute ago. Welcome to the November 17th, 2020 meeting of the Transit Riders, the TRAC Committee. We're holding this meeting virtually through Zoom due to the current medical emergency in the state of Florida. This is a public meeting, and as everybody's heard this script many times, PSTA has developed several methods to ensure that the public may comment in this public meeting both prior to and during the meeting. During the meeting, the public can provide public comments via telephone by calling the number 415-655-0002. The meeting ID, as you see, is 172-432-9082. Second option, the public can submit written comments prior to the meeting. I hope you already did that. By mail to PSTA, by snail mail. The third option allows you to comment through email. You might send email before the meeting to publiccomments@psta.net. Any email comments received before or during the meeting that are 400 words or less, we will read them aloud for you during the meeting at the appropriate time for public comment. Any public comments by mail or email that are longer than 400 words will be provided to board members in writing. Any documents that the public submitted to the clerk have been provided to the board already prior to this meeting. Remember, all comments submitted will be part of the public record for the meeting. They will be considered by the committee prior to taking any actions. Also, when addressing the committee, the members of the public must first state his or her name and address. Thank you. Again, I apologize that my camera just died. I really am here. I'll be like the voice from the Outer Limits. I'll use graphic language, I guess. What we'll do right now, as always, is a call to order. Let's confirm we're all here. I'll start with myself. I'm Duncan Kovar. Chelsea, are you here?
I'm here.
All right, and let's just do a quick roll call. Whoops, I lost my script. 1 second. Roman, are you here? Okay, Roman, if everyone will go ahead and, thanks Roman, if everyone will go ahead and unmute, we can do this real quick. Deborah, make sure you can hear us. Is Deborah here? Deborah Broadquist?
Don't
Not
see it.
yet. How about Gloria? You can hear us?
I'm here and I can hear you.
Great. Mark O'Hara. Mark?
Here.
Great. Lost my place. Teresa? Is Teresa here? Is not. Edwin? We spoke.
And I'm here.
Great. Mary Young? Mary?
Here.
Great.
I'm here.
Yes. And then Kim. I saw Kim. There. Great. So we're still missing. We're missing Teresa and Mary. If someone can help me with that. Okay. Then, wow, this is really suddenly becoming tricky. Then let's go ahead and moving on. This is the point asking for public comments. Let's check first. Were there any public comments via mail, snail mail, or through email, or is there anyone on the telephone line? Any public comments at all, since this is a public meeting?
There are no public comments waiting on the phone to speak. There were no mailed-in public comments prior to the meeting, and Clarissa will confirm if we've received any written comments since the meeting has started.
There are no written public comments.
Okay, that concludes the public comments.
All right, great. Well, we touched all the bases, and again, as a public meeting, we always want folks to feel like they can dial in, let us know what's going on in their minds. Then, if I can, let's move on to the next item, which is the chair's report. That I was supposed to stop in and watch the board, and I apologize. It's been a crazy month for me that I did miss it, although someone gave me the summary that the board did 3 things: approving the legislative priorities, a SUI contract for supervisors, and received a presentation about receiving a award from the APTA, the National Conference. Brad, could you save me here?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, number one, we approved our legislative priorities for both the state, Tallahassee, and federal government, Washington, D.C. Yeah, mainly just please don't totally decimate our funding for both. And number two, you're exactly right. The supervisors, which is, we have 2 union contracts at PSTA that represent all of the bus drivers, mechanics, customer service representatives. That's the bigger union. That was not up for approval. It was the smaller union, which is the frontline supervisors over those folks. They're very important to us. They are really the people that run the day-to-day operations of PSTA every day, the dispatchers, the radio operators, the people out on the road dealing with issues. And that contract was approved unanimously by the board, and so we're really happy that's behind us. And then third, yeah, we kind of cleaned up with a lot of awards, national marketing awards, and a lot of state marketing awards as well. So happy with that.
All right. Thank you, Brad. Then next would be Gloria. Do you have any report on Forward Pinellas and the various committees that Forward Pinellas heads up for us?
Okay. Well, there were really 3 things relative to Forward Pinellas. The first is that we had our CC meeting 2 days after the last TRAC meeting, and so I had to go back and look to see if there was anything burning that I wanted to remember to tell everyone. And you know, the CAC, as Duncan, you know, involves a lot of different things, and you know, a lot of it being road related and you know, things with drivers. However, it continues to be that I keep seeing more and more creeping into it of a definite recognition that pedestrians, transit riders, all and motorcyclists, bicyclists have a very important role to play in our planning. And so they talked about a lot of the planning programs for transportation, but nothing that was specifically transit related that was worth mentioning. Then the second thing was there was a Forward Pinellas board meeting, and Duncan and I both participated by presenting the Track Star Award that you all approved. And again, recognizing the key importance of Forward Pinellas, recognizing that it's not just car drivers, it's transit riders, it's buses, it's all of us. And so I think they were very pleased to receive the award. And again, the recognition that they're on the right track, I think, for taking care of all of us. And then the final thing I was going to report is that we then also, the week after that, there was the 5th meeting of the Forward Pinellas Vision Zero program. And I've reported on that before, but that's really, to me, very exciting. Again, Vision Zero affects us because we're not as protected by cars. And I've talked about the demonstration projects that there were, the one being the crosswalk where the trail crosses Nursery, and they have the rectangular flashing beacon there, and they've had a lot of promotional materials around that. The second thing was that they did the near miss analysis at the corner of A19 and Curlew. And after we talked about it, we reviewed that and saw the results of that. Several of us were saying, oh, we need to do near miss analysis in a lot of places, because just because we don't get hit doesn't mean we aren't having to be very careful to not get hit. And I think, again, a recognition of having the attention on that was really important, and I see that coming through in future programs. And then the final thing, which I'm really not that, I can't speak that well about, but it's not one of our original demonstration projects, but there's a project that they're working on in St. Pete, and I'm looking, it's at the corner of 2nd Street South and 1st Avenue South. And again, they're going to work on ways to configure that intersection so that it is safest for pedestrians and cars, so that the cars making turns are seeing the pedestrians and so on. So that's a project where, again, Forward Pinellas is going to be working with St. Pete to help create another wonderful pedestrian opportunity. So that's my report.
Well, that's wonderful. And I don't know if we appreciate just how forward-looking our county is. I mean, we say it again and again, that transit riders are pedestrians immediately before and immediately after taking transit. And Vision Zero is a national campaign. I mean, it's a statewide campaign. How many pedestrians are allowed to get killed? What's a good ratio? How about zero? And so I would encourage all of us to get involved in it. I mean, isn't it like visionzero.org or floridavisionsero.com? Just Google
Just have
Vision.
a Forward Pinellas. The Forward Pinellas site will show it.
And so all of us should be involved in that. And these pilot projects are wonderful. And a perfect one for me is roundabouts. I've gotten involved in that, are so safe for pedestrians, and car drivers hate it. So every time we put in another computerized left turn lane or a double left turn lane, which is just designed to get car drivers to speed up, and ignore pedestrians because they can go right on red. Anyway, it's wonderful to hear us doing pilot projects like it sounds 1st Street South, 2nd South and 1st Avenue South. If that works, they're going to roll it out. Yeah, that's all great news. Thanks, Gloria. Thanks for that report. Let's all commit to try and get involved in pedestrian activity and throw them our support. And you kind of downplayed it, but when we gave them that TRAC Star Award, I don't think they were blowing smoke, but they really praised us. WIT and everybody gave great praise to TRAC, to PSTA, and to us individually as members showing up and caring. I was really impressed. I mean, I thought it was kind of a photo op, but they gave, if you can go find that YouTube, it was pretty touching. All right, enough.
Great job. I think it's worth a watch.
Yeah, it was. I was just expecting it to be a warm handshake and an 8x10 and next, but everybody knew about us. Everybody knew about TRAC. Everybody knew about that award, and they were very appreciative just of our existence and the work we do. And so, yeah, it was really cool. All right. How about we move on then? Next is the 2 items. And again, I'll remind you, they're information items this month. Al, do we have you? Sorry for dragging you out. Thanks for coming. We're following up then on the participation that we talked about last month, or was it the month before? I'll turn it over to you.
I'll defer to Ross first, and then I'll go after Ross.
Thank you, Al. Appreciate it. Chair Duncan, I'm Ross Silvers in the Mobility Office under Bonnie Epstein, the Director of Mobility, who would have been here today, but she's busy with the APTA Emerging Leaders, which is what she is. So anyway, we're here to, as you said, Duncan, to kind of follow up on changes coming to our ADA paratransit service, which most of you know fondly as DART, Demand Response Transportation. So this is, of course, what is required by federal law to be provided by everyone else in the country who provides regular public transit. Fixed route also has to provide the ADA paratransit to those with disabilities who are unable to ride the accessible bus system. So we've been a leader in how we've been contracting out our DART service for many years. We were one of the first in the country to do it because it was very cost effective and efficient to do so. And now the industry has continued to change. So now we are going to, this new procurement really allows us to kind of catch up with the changes happening in the industry. There's a lot of technology that is out there that we want to be able to take advantage of for our customers' benefit. And so I'm really excited about this procurement. The Care Ride, of course, is the company that has the contract now. It's the end of their 5-year contract period, ending in June 30th of 2021. And so we're really planning ahead to try and get this procurement done. So there's plenty of time for a nice, smooth transition taking place next summer. So all of our customers and PSTA staff can have a nice stress-free transition from the current provider to the new one. And it may even be more than one provider. So, because that's something else we're seeing around the country as a trend is, you have more than one provider and you have kind of some better options, and there's no issue with any concern about not having enough rides, et cetera, and keeping quality up. So I don't want to get into too much detail, but just know that it's a whole panel of us working on it. And on the panel, we're really pleased to have with us Kim and Gloria, who of course are longtime members of TRAC, and they're helping us out, sharing their wisdom and experience with us from out there using the system. And we were really excited to have their participation. Al?
Yes, thank you, Ross. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Al Burns, Director of Procurement. It is exactly 4:17, and I'm still highly motivated this late in the day after a long day, hard work. I just want to give you an update on where we are in the solicitation process. And I just want to echo the sentiment that Mr. Silvers gave. I also want to acknowledge Gloria and Kim for your hard work. You haven't put in hard work yet, ladies. Just wait until all these proposals come in, and then that's when the hard work and the heavy lifting actually starts. I just want to thank you for your participation. And one of the things from a procurement lens, it's good for when board members see all the activity that happens behind the scenes to make these services possible. As it pertains to the solicitation, we've received exactly 40 different companies download the solicitation. We've had over 4 amendments be released on the solicitation and have responded to over 140 questions so far. We've held training for the evaluation committee members, for staff, and for TRAC members. And then we did additional training for the TRAC members that are not as familiar with our bonfire evaluation system. So I really want to thank you, TRAC members, for your participation in that. Proposals are due next week. So next week is a big, not only Turkey Week, but it's also proposal due week. So we're going to give our staff and Ms. Gloria and Ms. Kim some homework to do over Thanksgiving weekend, and they'll have some nice reading to enjoy over the holidays. After that, we plan on having the evaluation committee meeting, and everything, Mr. Chair, is on track for a February committee/board. So right now, I want to, if you have any questions, I'm really limited on what I have to say. I'd like to put a big C up in there. Oh, Brad, cone of silence. I love it, right? So we're in a cone of silence right now. So I'm very limited on what I can say, but I am extremely motivated. All the evaluation members, all evaluation committee members are highly motivated, and the TRAC members seem to be motivated that are participating. So if there's any questions that Ross and I can answer, we'd be more than happy to.
Well, I understand what you mean now, that of course, since it's out for bid, that's the cone of silence. That's the reference then, right?
Yes, sir.
Right, because you're in a public bidding process. But any questions from anyone for Al or for Ross? I guess we're all excited to see that it's a great opportunity for us to find a new partner who can do a good job. Would it be appropriate for me to ask Gloria or Kim to just comment on their experience or what they're looking? How steep is the hill, or if you have just a word or two, something from the hip?
We were told that we are going to have a lot of reading to do.
All right.
Yeah.
But we were given very good guidelines on how we need to read through materials. And I am very, very impressed with the methodology. Anyways, the methodology that they're using. It's being very specific in terms of, it's not, oh, I feel this or I think that. It's really like, these are the things that matter to us, and these are the things that these different providers may provide. So we're going to do a lot of reading over the holidays, and hopefully our input as riders will be very important to the whole decision process as well.
Well, you're the customer, right? Who would know it better? Excellent. Very good. Any other questions from anyone here? Then I will thank you for the presentation, and I'm starting to share your enthusiasm now that we were sort of painted into a corner pretty quick, the whole Baycare handoff, and then dropping the ball on us or whatever. But yeah, let's make it an opportunity to make things even better. Good job. Thanks, guys, and Gloria and Kim for
Thank you, Mr.
stepping
Chair.
up for us and representing riders once again. Yeah. All righty. Then, again, thanks. Let's go ahead then and move on to the next issue on the agenda is Bob.
Yes.
Bob, you're going to talk to us about, internal stuff. Yeah, kind of dry.
Well, I'll do my best to not keep it too dry. But, as we've done with everything from one end of our agency to the other, it's all about safety, your safety, our safety, employees. And that's why we've decided to keep the TRAC meetings virtual for right now. Now, normally this time of year, we'd be electing our officers, but because we can't have an in-person forum, we have to do decisions by consensus as a committee, because we can't have a formal vote as long as the executive order by the governor is what it is right now. He rescinded it. We remember we were able to do formal decision making up until this meeting. Otherwise, we would probably be holding a vote right now to select our chair and vice chair. So what the staff is proposing is that the TRAC agree by consensus to extend the service of the existing TRAC officers for 1 year or until a time when we can meet in person, whichever comes first. That would mean Duncan and Chelsea, you would continue as the TRAC chair and vice chair by consensus of the TRAC members present at this virtual meeting today. So we just need to get a consensus of the members today, if that's okay.
Well, and for the record, the meetings are going to continue as information only, right? We'll be meeting for consensus. I had made the joke, and I don't know how many times I've made it now, that the biggest difference is going to be our inability to vote on minutes. Every week, the one thing we do for our quorum is approve those darn minutes, So once either the governor approves virtual virtual meetings again, or the health situation out there improves because of a vaccine or who knows what, the first thing we're going to have to do is sit down and approve 6 minutes or 4 minutes or however many minutes. In the interim, so much of what we get, like this last presentation, is informational, is important, and gives us a chance to give feedback. The rest of it is just so much, frou-frou. It's who's the chair, what are we going to do, how are we going to do it. It's about facilitating ourselves, being available to hear stuff, and being able to give Brad and everybody, Al, the feedback. So I'm, let me go on record, more than willing to do all the talking at the Zoom meetings, even though we won't be having votes. And by the way, also more than willing to have anyone else to have that honor.
I was just going to suggest, even though we can't vote on that, you'll be terming out, I think, after, when we re-vote. And so maybe sometimes you want to hand off to Chelsea, who's your vice chair sometimes, or if anyone else would be interested in being, on the track to see if they can guest host.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, I'd be good with that.
Excellent. And the like, and both yourself and Mark have had experience in the chair as well. So
I am very experienced with Zoom through my job and everything else, because McKinsey, where I work, helped to promote Zoom. We use Zoom for everything.
Excellent. So Yeah, I'm having a horrible month, this particular meeting with all of the technical problems, but yeah, so maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should just pass it around. I mean, since the chair for the next little few, until this becomes normal again, is really just Zoom meeting leader. So I'm more than willing to do that as well.
Now, we're going to have to go around. You have to call for a consensus to make sure that it's okay to continue this way. So we'll need a consensus of the TRAC members who are here right now.
Yeah. How would we do that?
Well, I think you just ask for any objections.
That would be the right way to
Yes.
say that. Is there any objection, or is there another idea? What is the best idea out there? In the interim, Bob's suggestion is that we just kind of coast along on the current track, on the current path, until such time that there's a change either in the health or in the executive directive from the governor.
I think you've got it.
All right, and so.
All right, thank you. And at least, and we can still meet and get all of your input and keep everybody up and do pretty much everything we normally do.
I've got to say, Bob, part of the stuff that I'm missing, and talk about a body blow. I was so excited to become chair, was to start doing all those, those little secret things, getting the tour of the bus repair, or I wonder what happens there overnight, and I had a million things. Where's Roman? Roman and I were talking about technology. We immediately, I think in January, we went and attended a couple seminars, and then boom, COVID came like a roundhouse. And not to mention changing the fare structure, changing the rider profile and everything. And so it's really been I don't want to say depressing isn't the right word, but shocking or unexpected year. So I'm excited that if we could get back to the old way and do all that stuff, it really feels like, how about this word, a caretaker? It feels like it's been a caretaker kind of year.
Yeah.
We're learning stuff. We still hear about FDOT. We still hear about the Sun Runner. We're learning stuff. But man, I really wanted, my plan way back when was to be digging in and getting my fingers dirty, learning stuff. And, it just can't be done. All right. Enough then.
Well, what I was gonna say, Chair Kovar, was, I think you're right on the mark. I mean, even at the PSTA board, it's been kind of the same exact thing, and we are losing 4 members from the 5.
Right.
5,
Including the chair. Yeah.
the Chair Barkley, same exactly like you did. I think he wanted to get his fingers much more dirtier than just being on Zooms the whole time, and then Chair Barkley is leaving us. Ken Welch, of course, left the county commission and the PSTA board, a longtime PSTA member. Heather Gracie, the representative of Dunedin, will be being switched to someone else, but that won't happen until January. And then Darden Rice will be leaving PSTA and being replaced on the St. Pete City Council. So quite a few changes at the board as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, but we're still,
You're still here.
yeah, and we're always going to be representing the riders. So, someone needs that voice, but what a drag. I certainly enjoy being on all the mailing lists, following the blogs, and it keeps me up. I still read about transit around the world, around the country. People still need to get to the doctor to get to their job. Just not as much. There you go. Thanks, Brad, and thanks everybody. That's actually all the business we have for this month, other than approving the minute. Oh, no, we're not doing that. Then does any other members have any other comments or ideas or things they wanted to chat about, what they might like to hear in future meetings?
Yeah, I have a quick question. This is Roman. When is our next meeting? Is it January?
I had that same question. Who's the keeper?
Yes. It'll be-
According, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
go ahead.
It says that the next meeting is January 19th.
Right. Okay, so we get the holiday month off, and then we'll come back the third Tuesday in January.
Yeah, that's why this was supposed to be where you elect the officers. That way they'd start on the next meeting.
Exactly. I get it, man. We are so kind of adrift. I get it, Bob.
Yeah, you're moving more than you think.
Yeah, but the year is kind of passed away, right? Okay. Right. Well, then by rights, then we really need to wish each other a good holiday season, a good Thanksgiving, a good Christmas, a good New Year,
That's true.
and all of that, and have everybody stay through it. And boy, Gloria and Kim, you are gonna, when we talk in January, you'll have got a lot of work done. We'll hear all about that, and that's that.
Everybody next year.
That's right.
Next year. Happy Christmas and New Year and all that.
All of that. Happy holidays to all of us. And then let's agree we'll meet up in January, and by then we'll know much more about the emergency. We'll know about the governor's edict, vaccine, whatever's going to be happening. We may by then be able to start meeting in person again, or we'll know when.
You said January.
Anything but what's going on now. All right.
Well, happy holidays to all, and we'll see you again in January.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. then.
See you on January 19th. See you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Happy
Let's go
holidays.
ahead and
See y'all
adjourn
in
the meeting,
2021.
and we'll see you then. Thank you all.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
Good months.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you.